Hello my beautiful people. Today we are going to be going over the importance of a deload week and how to do it. And then towards the end of the video, I'm gonna go to do my kind of deload day for a leg day. And I can kind of show you what I do in my everyday life when I'm feeling very, in a sense, tired, over fatigued. My central nervous system is just not doing great. So I've been in a pickle the last few days because usually I don't like taking deloads because I hate not lifting, I hate doing this and that. But it gives me a good reason to give my joints, to give my muscles, to give everything a break, to go on kind of a caffeine hiatus for about a week and just get used to it all, not working out as much and give my body a break. So let's go over a little bit of a rundown of how to do a deload week if you're just starting out and what you should be doing and where your goals are and stuff. So with most people, you do not have a workout plan, you do not have a coach. Someone's gonna tell you this. So what I like to do is I usually work out for about 4 weeks straight, consistently, 5 to 6 times a week. And then I end up around the 5 to 6 week range, depending on how intense I was working out and how much I was pushing the weight. I'll usually do a week full of just taking it easy, not going too hard. You train as much as I do or some other people do, or if you're watching this, you train all the time, you know that if you take a week off, it's not gonna kill you. Like a lot of the times people think, oh, my muscle's gonna go away. No, as long as you're having a decent amount of activity in your life, you're gonna be fine. So something I like to say to people is for the overall volume, try to cut it down to about 50% if you can. For me personally, since I do construction, I just have a very active lifestyle. I pretty much don't work out at all for a week. I know a lot of people will disagree with this because you're kind of going on a hiatus for, like I said, for a week, and it might not be the best for people, but for me, sometimes my joints, everything really hurts after training so hard and all this, but that's probably my issue for going to a little too far, but it makes me feel really good to just give my whole body a week break. But that does not mean I don't do anything. It just means I do not go super hard in the weight room. I do think that with deloads, it is super important to go forward with a lot of yoga, with a lot of smaller, like if you want to work on your shoulders, do internal rotation, external rotation, things that are going to help you bounce back and make sure the small muscles and things that you neglect are kind of kept up on, and remind yourself the importance of it. So with me not working out and spending an hour and a half every single day of the week working out, I make sure that I get those things in, because yoga, the small rotator cuff muscle exercises, you can do also like internal, external rotation for the hips and the knees, just very good uptake on your joints, things like that are gonna need it for down the road. Because a lot of times we neglect them, and I know I do too. I am one of those people that preaches it, but I sometimes don't always get to it. So I just want to let you guys know you can also do that during a deload week and feel as if you're still doing something for your health, but you're not putting your central nervous system, your muscles, and your joints through a living, not fun time. So with deload week, like I said, you gotta listen to your body. If you're feeling more sleepy, if you're feeling cranky, it sounds dumb, but this could be a sign that you're needing a deload. If you're, if you're having aches and pains, it's just so simple to tell that if you're going down, if your strength is declining, if things are harder to get per set, per weight, things like that. If you're towards the end of your workout, if you're hurting, if you're just more tired in general, you need a deload week. So that is extremely important. What are the benefits of a deload week? Let's go over this. So in a sense, the entirety of a deload week is, like we've been saying, to give everything a break, to give your central nervous system a break, but also it's to reduce the rate of injury. A lot of times when we work out over a long period of time, you're slowly gonna get, like I said, more damaged muscles, things like that are gonna keep having to be built up, like we kept saying, like keep working out for a longer period of time. So with this, a reduced of injury, because since there's so much micro tears in your muscles, things like that, and a bunch of fatigue in the body, you could push yourself too far past to where you do have an injury. Because if you're cognitively not as focused, if you're physically not as strong, stable, things like that, it can cause a chance of injury. That's why these deloads are kind of like a check-in to make sure everything's going good. You got your yoga, things like that are on top of the game to make sure when you come back from that deload week, you can go back right into training hard, you know? So we've been talking about a lot of giving your body a break, all these things. But in a sense, a lot of the times deloads are used, they're actually strategically planned in a lot of coaches and workout regimens because they can break through plateaus for somebody. Like we kept saying, if you're very fatigued mentally, physically, things like that, and if you can't hit that weight, you're not gonna get hit. You're not gonna hit the weight if you don't give yourself a break. Because in the most time, I have heard people coming back from plateaus and being even stronger than when they left. Or coming back from deloads and being even stronger than when they left. So that could help so much. But in general, I do about every 5 to 6 weeks, but I have written down that it does take around 4 to 8 weeks if someone needs a deload for that to be in that time frame between them working out consistently and wanting to take that week break. Also, you can do the mix still of the reduced volume and reduced weight, maybe not going to failure on all your sets and reps, just to give your body a break in a sense, you know? You don't have to go cold turkey like me or do what I do where I only focus on yoga and the smaller joint things like that exercises. So you can do what you want. As you will work out more, you will figure out what is good and what is bad for you. So when you are going over a deload week, there is the thing known as active recovery. And that is kind of what we were talking about with doing the exercises, but also something that can be great that won't be hard on you is getting your step count in, going to the sauna, active recovery such as getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep still, having that high protein diet, 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight, having the gallon of water a day. That also is so utterly important for these deload weeks because if you don't want to have any muscle atrophy or little to none as possible, though you really won't have any, but if it makes you feel mentally better, being on top of that active recovery, things like I mentioned, can be so utterly important. So, nonetheless, we got this done out of the way. I kind of went over in a sense what is important for a deload for you guys and what you can do, what can help you out. Hopefully this helps you a little bit, but nonetheless, I'm gonna go to the gym right now and hit some legs. But I'm gonna do some yoga, I'm gonna do the sauna, I'm gonna do a little exercises here and there. I can kind of make a video and show you guys what I mean in a real-time manner. So let's go to the car. I'll talk a little bit more in there of what we're gonna be doing, but we'll see you guys in a minute. Alrighty, friends. So we are in the car now, and I forgot to go over this a little bit, but I actually wanted to explain to you how I decided it was my deload week, just because I didn't really explain it too much, which besides the symptoms I talked about, if you do ever feel like you're getting sick, whether it's like congestion, runny nose, headaches, anything, low energy, any sign of getting sick, I would definitely cut back the working out a little bit at least, just because right now, for some reason, my throat feels like not good. And that was a telltale sign that I was pushing myself too hard. Could mean a lot of things. Could mean you're just getting a cold but things like that. But in a sense, if your body is ran down, your immune system is going to be worse off. So that could be a very good sign of, hey, might need to dial it back a little bit. And I was thinking about it. I think I'm just gonna go to the gym and go to the sauna for about 15 minutes. Do a little bit of leg exercises, just some quad extensions, some calves. I can always hit calves. There's never gonna be a deload week where I do not need to hit calves. And then just do some yoga poses and things like that back at home. In a sense, it'll probably be 30-ish, 40 minutes long total, but it'll be nice. I'll get a good amount of yoga. I'll do a little bit of quad extensions, just something to get the blood flowing. Sit in the sauna for a tiny bit and, enjoy life. Not take the workout too seriously. Maybe give my brain a little break too. But other than that, life has been pretty entertaining. I guess in a sense, guys. We're currently working on getting some hats and stuff made for the I Bet You Can store that I'm trying to build a little bit. If you guys do not know, I am thinking, or I am in the works of building kind of like a hat brand as of right now. It just says I Bet You Can on it. And go back about 6 months, I was interning for my physical therapy down in Ball State. And I was talking to one of the people that was working there, and his wife actually had breast cancer. And so now we have been going down the route of going to be doing like breast cancer awareness hats with the I Bet You Can, and then I'm going to donate like 20 or 25% of all the proceeds to the charity. And then on the website we can have a total amount of, I guess, how much we donate to charity. So it's going to be really fun, really excited for it. Just going to be something to do, just because I don't know if it's going to go well or bad, but I think life is all about trying things, and if I can, get some experience in that field, then it'll be awesome. I've done so many little like side quests lately in the last few years, so it's been fun. Other than that, I'm going to go to the gym. I will see you guys in a little bit. I'll kind of talk to you through about what I'm going to be doing and stuff in the gym. I might not video in the gym. I'll probably just tell you guys what I'm going to be doing, and then I'll video my stretches at home. See you guys in a minute. I'll be fully honest with you, I just about crashed out because I just videoed like 20 minutes of me going through my entire yoga and my shoulder exercises and everything. And then my storage was full, and then I deleted everything. So we're back. All right, first off, guys, hello. This is around 10 p.m. after the gym, after the sauna. Then I went home and showered, ate dinner. We're here now. So, hello everybody. Right now, we're gonna go over some stretches for you guys to be able to do, whether you have a very stressful lifestyle where you do construction, you work out all the time, or you live in a box and you're a 9-to-5 person in a cubicle. And either or, yoga is so utterly important for each kind of individual, whatever you do, if you're super active, if you're not active at all. So, let's get into it. So right now, let's go over some hip opening exercises that a lot of people do and don't do, and I think are very important nonetheless. So these are called butterflies, and all I want you to do is just bring your feet together, sit up, and bring your legs as close to the floor as you can comfortably. And remember, you do not have to push or anything like this. We're just gonna sit here for about 60 seconds, feeling the stretch over in our hips or around our groin area, and we're just gonna sit here and try to open our hips up. A lot of times people have a lot of tight hips. So do 60 seconds, 2 to 3 sets, something very easy, something very simple. Next, what I want you to do is I want you to sit up, keep your legs straight, point your toes to the sky, and I want you to touch your toes. Something that a lot of people cannot do in America, at least I know of, because a lot of times we do not stretch our hamstrings, which is that muscle on the back of your leg that a lot of people pull when they run, when they're out of shape, or when they're, dehydrated. So this is the same thing. Keep your legs straight, lean forward. A lot of times people can't even do this. It will stretch your hamstrings, your calves. Following that, guys, what I want you to do is I want you to put your left leg at a 90 degrees, and I'm gonna put your right leg at 90 degrees. And we're gonna move our hips forward like this, and you're supposed to feel a stretch right in the very top of your quad to groin area. This is going to be stretching your hip flexor. This is something that a lot of people do not touch ever, and we need to be doing it because it could make a lot of things tight. It can sometimes, in a sense, I believe, cause knee pain and things like that, because when you have either like lower back pain, knee pain, a lot of times it's not from that area, or not a lot of times, some of the time it's not from that area, and it could be from neighboring tight muscles or tight areas of the body. So making sure we're doing yoga is so utterly important, because as we get older, a lot of people deal with arthritis and brittleness, tightness. As you get older, if you do not move, you're gonna lose it and you're gonna become very like stiff and brittle. And that's why I think working on your mobility and flexibility with yoga is so utterly important. So we went over the hip flexor, we went over opening up the hips with the inside of the leg, and then we did hamstrings. So another thing I would like for you guys to do, pushing past the yoga part, because I feel like these are very consecutive things that a lot of people do in a sense. People know it's important to do yoga, but why do yoga? I kind of explain it a little bit more. Something I forget to do all the time that I think is important for literally anyone that lives is doing internal, external rotation, shoulder health exercises. I'm gonna be focusing on that today mostly, but of course, yoga, everything like that, abductor muscles for the legs are important, but I'm gonna go and move the camera over here. I'm gonna show you some of my favorite rotator cuff exercise you guys can be doing today to better your rotator cuff health and the muscles inside the rotator cuff. Here, one sec. So when thinking about how to work on your rotator cuff, many people at home have exercise bands or they have some type of band like this. If you don't, your local gym may have one, or if there's somewhere in town where there's like a medical area store where they sell crutches, things like that, I promise you there's TheraBands, you can buy them on Amazon. They're so utterly cheap and so extremely helpful for you to try to strengthen certain parts of your body. For the external rotation exercise, you want your palms facing the ceiling and you want your elbows against your side and your arms at 90-degree angle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this band and we're gonna be pulling it apart, just like it's taffy. You're trying to pull the taffy apart, whatever you wanna think. But this is called external rotation, and this is one of 4 main exercises I like to do for my rotator cuff. For this, the yellow band is pretty easy, and your rotator cuff muscles, if you do not work them, they're very weak. So I would just do them until they burn, maybe 3 sets of 10 to start, and then moderate how you're feeling and things like that. But external rotation is one of the most important ones. Next, let's go over internal rotation. If you have a door by a chance, this is gonna be extremely helpful for you, or having a friend or family member hold it. But I like to put it in the door like this. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna stand so that your arm is the closest thing to the origin of the band. And what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna hold my foot there just so the door doesn't accidentally come out, but I want you to pull across and inside. Same thing, keeping your elbows against your side, and we're gonna be bringing it like this. This is known as internal rotation, one of the many, of course, important exercises we need for our rotator cuff. And when we're doing these 4 exercises, we're pretty much hitting every single main path of motion that your shoulder does. Either in, out, extension, or flexion. That is the whole plan of this. So once you do the same thing, 3 sets of 10 for internal rotation, very helpful. Next, we're gonna do extension. For the shoulder extension, what I want you to do is keep your arm straight, facing the wall, and I want you to bring it down to your pocket. That's kind of the plan that we used to tell people at the my internship as a very good way of explaining how to do it. And you should feel it in your rear delt and things like that. This shouldn't be as tough as the internal and external rotation exercises, but it will still be hard for you. So finally, with the exercise that I really enjoy the most, that most people do this in their everyday life. They do this movement when you're trying to reach for something, things like that. But I think it's still very important. So when you're wanting to do your flexion movement, I want you to face the opposite wall of where the band is coming from. Keep your arm straight, and I just want you to raise your arm like this. And of course, my band is a little tighter and there's a knot on the end, so I can't go all the way, but I do have a band upstairs I use for this exercise. And pretty much what I want you to do is you can try to even raise it up to 90 degrees if you can. But for a lot of these exercises, you're going to need to make sure that if you have a different set of bands, like a wide range of strengths, sometimes there's gonna be parts of your shoulder, some of your body in general, that is gonna be stronger than others. So if I can only do external rotation with a yellow band, but for the extension and the flexion one that we were just talking about, I can do the green or red band, which is a tougher, tighter band, then do it. Because not all of the movements you have are gonna have the same exact strength. But I hope this helped, guys, for a little bit of just focusing on yoga, focusing on strengthen your rotator cuff. But if you're interested in more yoga exercises, look up Yoga with Adriene. She is on YouTube. She is incredible. She has like 14 million followers and she does constantly different types of yogas. I follow her stuff a lot. She has a little dog in the background that always hangs out. It's always so cool. So other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing day. Looking into like why deloads are important, trying to change your opinion if you did have one. If not, let me know what you think in the comments about this video and about what I preach to everybody. Other than that, God bless you all. And reminder, if you're going through anything in life, just know, I bet you can. You guys got this. Life is so utterly beautiful and amazing. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the next one.